stop, stick around, come through and dig the sound of the fly brown 6060 cycle. Who thought
Welcome to another exciting episode of Wine Down with Kev. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to tune in to watch our podcast, whether you're watching it on live stream, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We appreciate you. Special thanks to all of you that have already clicked the subscribe button and is getting notifications for everything that we're doing. And I can't start without thanking my sponsors. So big thanks to my sponsors, Carol Media and Canopy Connect. Please contact them for all things digital, Carol Media and Canopy Connect. So let's go ahead and get this party started today. Today, we are starting off in the great state of Louisiana, Baton Rouge specifically. We have an amazing agent that I'm going to talk to. He's been an agent since 2020. What a year to enter a new business venture. He's been a winner. He's won honoring. He's won summit. He's done some amazing things. Most importantly, what I'm excited to talk to this agent about is his incredible backstory of how he got to be an Allstate agent, but more importantly, he has some interesting things that he does outside of the agency. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Wine Down with Kev welcome to Mike Stone.
Man, thank you. Gosh, what an introduction, man. I need you to do that all the time.
I got you, man. Call me up on stage. Your band is playing tonight. I will bring the band up, man. And I work cheap. Two old fashions. That's it. Let me do the intro. Have them waiting for me, and I'm good. How you doing today?
I can do it, man. I'm good. I am good.
Good. Mike, man, insurance is an easy conversation for us, but you've got, in my view, I see 5 guitars back there. Let's start there. That's a more interesting conversation. Tell me about those beautiful things hanging up behind you.
Man, that's just I always say I'm a struggling musician, something I've been doing for a long time. I started playing in college and just started playing guitar, picked up the mandolin. So right there, a couple years, I probably 15, 20 years ago, actually no longer than that. But yeah, so me and a couple guys from church, we like each other. We like the same music. We just got together and started playing and just having fun.
I love it, man. You get to play with your buddies, and these are buddies from church. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So give me a sense. What's on the playlist tonight? You got a jam coming up tonight. What's on the playlist? What are some songs that I know that I can expect to hear?
Man, we play a little bit of everything. I say it's, classic rock, classic country. It's stuff that we grew up with. We play a lot of Tom Petty,
okay,
Creedence,
okay,
Eagles,
okay,
great, so a lot of good stuff.
Now, Mike, I read that not only you're the guitar player, you're the vocalist. You're the vocalist as well.
I am. I'm struggling today with some sinus stuff, so it may be an interesting night.
No worries, man. We're going to get you, man. Mike, I'd be remiss. You gave me a real range. I love classic rock. That's usually what I'm listening to. Soft rock while I'm working. A little bit harder stuff I listen to when I'm not, or if I'm out dancing. So what's a go-to? Give me a go-to Eagles jam. Give me I think everybody knows the Eagles, so give me a go-to for you.
Yeah, we start out everything with Take It Easy. So,
oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. I'm not going to ask you for a sample on the podcast. You got to save that tonight. You got to pay an audience, but Take It Easy. That's good. That's definitely in my wheelhouse. That's what Wine Down with Kev is all about, right? Everybody that's listening to this, they work hard. They're doing what they need to do for a living, but sometimes we all got to take it easy. And I'm going to resist the temptation of trying to hit that note. Then you're going to have to bail me out. Then the voice not going to be good tonight. So we're not even going down that path. We're not even going to go there.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, struggling musician, but talk to me. What do you love about being an Allstate agent?
More than anything, I love the people that you get to meet, from the customers that we get to meet, that they kind of become family. They ask about my wife. I come home and say, hey, so-and-so asked about you today, even though they've never met her.
Okay.
But love people like that, and love meeting other Allstate agents like yourself, and probably over the last 4 years, almost 5 years now. I mean, I've got friends all over the country that are Allstate agents, so it's pretty awesome that way.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Speaking of your wife, I'd be a poor interview if I didn't allow you to shout her out, say some nice things about her. You guys are coming back from a cruise. Where'd you go?
We actually went to Mexico. We went to Cozumel, Costa Maya. We went to Belize, and we went to Honduras. Actually, interesting fact, my wife, my father-in-law is actually in 2 bands. He's 79, and actually he and another group, another band, they actually hosted the cruise. So there was about, I don't know, 400 or 500 of us from the parish here that went on the cruise, and we kind of took over the boat for the week. It was fun.
Oh my God. Your father-in-law is my role model. 79, jamming in the band. He's got an audience. He's got a tribe of 400 to 500 people on a cruise having a good time. My only question is, what did the cruise line entertainment do? Did they get a chance to sit down and relax and watch you guys do your thing?
I think a few of them snuck in just to listen to them and watch all the crazy Cajuns dance around. So
I love it. I love it. Cajun dance. I'm thinking Cajun food. Mike, were you in Arizona last year?
I was not. I didn't get to go, but no.
No problem at all. I thought there was an agent that sang with the band. I thought it was you. My bad. So, Mike, tell me your backstory. How did you get to Allstate? I've seen that you owned and operated other businesses before you got here. Tell me about your journey to get here.
Man, I grew up in Virginia, and then moved to Nashville, tried to do the music thing. Obviously it didn't work out. God had other plans. My wife is from the Baton Rouge area. We met at a work conference. We were both working in the telecommunications industry. And it was one of those things, hey, I'd never been to Louisiana. She'd never been to Tennessee. So we started flying back and forth. Ended up getting married right after 9/11.
Nice.
So it got a little tough after 9/11. So I was like, okay, I need to make a decision. But we got married. I moved down here. She has 3 kids from a previous marriage. We have 1 together. Worked at, like I said, in the telecommunications industry until 2016. And actually, I made a joke to a guy earlier in the year and said, hey, been there 21 years. I know my time's coming because I survived a lot of mergers and acquisitions. And sure enough, however many months later, I got the layoff and was looking around. We actually had the flood of 2016, the great flood back then. And
wow.
Not a lot of people were hiring. So I made a joke. We had actually lived in Lafayette, which is about an hour west of here. And man, the food here is awesome.
Nice.
And was shopping at this store while we were there, Abear Specialty Meats, and I made the joke to my son-in-law about opening that. And he goes, man, if you want to do it, I'll do it. So we contacted the guy and we opened a franchise of Abear Specialty Meats over here. So one of the fun facts about myself too is I can debone a chicken as well.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, if you can debone the chicken, I got a couple of food questions for you. I'm in Nashville right now. My head is in Nashville. A couple of years ago, I had a chance to hang out on Broadway. I had a chance to try hot chicken, which I had never heard of before I got there. And now you're talking Cajun. So my mind is in a food place. So I love Nashville. How did Baton Rouge beat Nashville out? I've never been to Baton Rouge.
How does Baton Rouge beat Nashville out? I don't know, man, because I lived in Nashville for 8 years, and it's probably one of my favorite cities. Baton Rouge, the people, growing up in the Appalachian Mountains, I consider myself a hillbilly.
Nice.
And being down here, I say it's a hillbilly Cajun. The only difference in the two are the accent. Everybody just gets along, have a good time, love to eat, take care of each other. So the people are the same. The food, I would say the food down here is unbelievable. Obviously my wife, I think every recipe that my wife cooks starts with 2 sticks of butter. So
oh, you got my attention now.
Yeah.
You got my attention now. You give me an appetite for Cajun cooking. What's funny about you is literally in your Allstate bio, your website, you say you consider yourself a hillbilly Cajun. You embrace those roots, and that's a beautiful thing. We have to be who we are because everybody else is taken. Hey, DJ, what's up? I'm in the middle of recording the podcast.
I know, man.
This guy, we want to talk about something different. He's trying to get his website and his Google My Business page going.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody knows you helped me to get to the 2 Comma Club, and be seen by a couple of million people. But this person wants to do something different. They're trying to run ads to their book of business, their model line campaigns and stuff like that.
I know, Kev.
Oh, man. Well, DJ, talk to the people, man, so I can get back to the podcast. How can you help?
Yeah, man. So listen, I can help you by running monoline ads to your auto, your home, as well as optimizing your website, your Google business profile, and your social media outlets. We can do the exact same thing we've done for Kevin over the years and get you in front of millions of sets of eyeballs to help you grow your business. Contact Carroll Media today. Kev, let them know.
DJ, I appreciate you jumping in the podcast. Hit up Carroll Media. DJ, I got to go. I got to get back to the podcast.
I know.
So I got it. I got school. I got wife. I got pivot to the business. You're doing the meat business. How do you get from the meat business to Allstate? How does that happen?
We had a guy approach us about purchasing the business, and man, he made us a good offer. We got out, and then he kind of bounced around for a while, kind of figuring things out. And then Allstate approached me and recruited me, and really was a good opportunity. So had those conversations with the recruiter. We're moving along, and it was right before the world shut down.
Yes,
during COVID, and then not only that, as you know, Allstate was going through a major restructure at that time as well.
Yes.
So it was like, then I get into it. So that was kind of it. But the first year was kind of rough because I think, number one, I'd never been in insurance before, so I had a lot to learn.
Right.
And then 2, the whole structure changed with the restructure and with COVID. Right. So I just started getting on the phone, started calling other agents. Hey, help me out, introduce myself. And man, it's like I said, everybody's looking out for each other.
Yes.
Everybody was more than willing to help. And a lot of those guys I'm still great friends with today. And they pick up the phone and call me and see how it's going now instead of me calling them.
That's a beautiful thing about this camaraderie and this brotherhood that we have. We don't see each other as competition. We see each other as collaborators. And I think that's special. So shout out to whoever recruited you and got you to come over here with us. Fast forward, you're in your agency. Maybe somebody's listening to this podcast and they would like to get an insurance one day. You've been through a downsize in the telephone industry. You've been through a career pivot of going from one business to another. How hard is it to get started, to get a license, to get a job in Louisiana in the insurance business?
It's not really hard. The law changed a couple of years ago. You don't have to have that pre-test or the
the licensing hours. You have to have all the classroom hours before you can take the test.
Right. I would still encourage people to do that just because, man, it's a lot of stuff that you got to know. But just take that, sign up for one of the courses, either AD Banker, Exam FX, or, something else. And then just go take the exam. And then, if you look on Indeed, there are people hiring salespeople all the time in the Baton Rouge area. So
I love it. 5 years later, would you still encourage people to do it?
I would. Just like any industry, man, you got good times and bad times, ups and downs. The economy's good, the economy's bad, rate changes, all this stuff. But man, it is a good industry. It's something that's is going to be around for a long time. And again, the people that you meet and the people that you can help along the way, that's what I really love about it. So I would always encourage people to do that.
That sounds like the stuff that all good country music is written about, the highs and lows.
That's right. For sure.
We love it. We love it. We love it. So like one of the things I've been talking to all the agents that I talk about, you mentioned the Appalachian Mountains. That's one geography with some unique natural risks and disasters that come to that area. And now we're down south and you have different risks in Baton Rouge. So talk to me about how your life experience helps you to be a good local agent as it relates to preparing people for these natural disasters that hit the people of Baton Rouge through no acts of their own that just comes with the climate where they live?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the biggest one here are hurricanes.
Okay.
You know, every June to November, we have where it's always a threat of a hurricane. You know, these guys know how to prepare. One thing that happened last month, as a matter of fact, we had 7 inches of snow here in Baton Rouge. It was the second highest snowfall ever. My wife's freaking out. And I'm like, hey, here's what we got to do. So one of the things that I did, I just jumped on Facebook, did a little video. I was like, hey, we don't have this weather. Be prepared, wrap your pipes, do this, do that. Because, growing up there, man, that was nothing for us. So,
right.
But
were you the only one in Baton Rouge that owned a shovel? I
think probably so. But yeah.
You pick up a couple of bucks helping your neighbors?
Yeah. It was funny because, I was out there. Obviously nobody has snow shovels down here. But, I'm a couple of like my neighbors, they're trying to blow it off with a leaf blower. I'm like, dude, that's not going to work.
That's not it.
Sorry. No.
I love it, man. So I love what you said about this weather comes. You have some life experience. Forget insurance. You've lived in a place that has snow. Yeah. You know how to handle it. I love that you said that you jumped on Facebook. You did a video, you did a reel, and you've got great stuff on your page. Anybody listening, watching this, follow Mike Stone. He's awesome. So talk about the response that you got to that engagement from you just doing the video. How did people receive that advice?
Yeah, it's always positive. So people were like, oh man, I didn't even think about that. Because again, nothing ever happens down here like that. So it was a good turnaround, and I think people were very receptive to it and took advice. So
you mentioned that people, the hurricane season, people are used to it. They know what's coming every summer, every winter, that June to November, whatever the other booking is in the area, and they know how to prepare for that. So this hitting them for a loop. This is a whole different preparation. And I love what you did just in the educational aspect. So I'm going to share something that I live by, and I want you to get your reaction to it. I live by a rule that says you can get whatever you want as long as you help enough people get what they want and what they need. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, that is kind of the same motto that I live by. When I talk to a customer and I quote them, and a lot of times you can kind of tell whether they're going to go with you or not. But even if not, I always tell them I would love to have every single customer or every single person as a client. I know it's not going to work out for whatever reason, but my goal is to educate you enough that you've got enough information to make the best decision for you and your family. And then hopefully, and whenever that thing happens, whether it's a bad claim experience, rates go up in your area, whatever, that you remember me and you remember our team and you give us a call back and give us another chance, just because we were trying to help you more than anything.
Mike, that's some priceless advice right there. You don't kick the chairs because you lost the sale. You're still fully committed to helping the person with information. That coupled with what you're doing on social media, that keeps you way up there with top of mind awareness. You've been here just for 5 years where social media and everything has been a heavy part of everybody's business. How has being digital and having a strong presence where you're not just posting generic insurance content, you're letting people really get to know you on a personal basis? How has that helped you in business?
It gets your name out there. I heard you talk about Carroll Media. I work with them too. I love DJ and his team. And it's just keeping top of mind. And a lot of times it's not even trying to sell something. It's really just more brand recognition or name recognition. I give you an example. When we were in Nashville last summer for the summit, I got on the bus one night. We went to the Musicians Hall of Fame, sitting down, my wife and I, and we're talking. And this young lady taps me on the shoulder from behind, and she's like, "Hey, I know you."
Yes.
And I was thinking, man, did I meet you earlier in the week? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm thinking. And then she goes, well, I really don't know you. I just see your videos on Facebook.
Yes.
So, and I don't even know where she was from, but that just kind of snowballs. And I had a conversation. The lady called in yesterday, and she was getting a homeowner's quote, and just asked her, "Hey, how'd you find out about us?" And she said, I saw your stuff on Facebook, and then also, somebody recommended you in one of the like Ascension Parish pages. So, you kind of got to stay top of mind. I'll admit I've kind of slacked in the last week or two, obviously being out of town, but I got to get back to it.
No, that's okay, man. So let me ask you the obvious question. You're playing in the band, you're jamming tonight. How many times after a set does someone say, "Aren't you the Allstate guy with all the videos?"
Actually, not too many. Every now and then they'll say, "Oh, man, you look familiar. Like I've seen you before." And I go, "Well, maybe you've seen me on social. I don't know." So
and you're not cross promoting. You're not wearing an Allstate shirt while you're jamming tonight.
No.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so at all. That's a wonderful thing. Hey Ray, what's up? I'm in the middle of shooting a podcast here.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I'm talking to a couple of my guys. They're struggling with all this new stuff, man. It's taking them 20, 30 minutes to fill out a quote sheet.
That's way too long, man. I think we can help.
You sure, man? They're trying to do different stuff. They're trying to do like X-Day campaigns. They're cross-selling. They want to follow with people they meet at networking events.
Yeah, well, Canopy Connect, you just send them a link. What is that? You can text it to them. You can put it on your business card as a QR code, scan that up, and all they have to do is click on that link, find their carrier, their insurance carrier, and sign into it. And we're gonna go in and grab all the information you need to get a quote, all their policy information, their deck pages, drivers, vehicles, and enrich that with property data. We get all that stuff, right? So you don't have to spend 30 minutes on the call. It's all easy.
Well, shut the front door. Enough said. Guys, you heard it right here. Stop going old school. Use Canopy Connect. Thanks, Ray. I got to get back to the podcast.
Got it. See you.
Let's talk about networking a little bit. One of the things you and I have in common, besides being Allstate agents, is you're a BNI guy. I love BNI, Business Networking International, for anyone that's not familiar. Talk to me about your BNI chapter, how you got involved, and what some of your roles and responsibilities are today.
Yeah, I've been in the Yes chapter here in Baton Rouge, and actually the lady that started it, she will tell you she's taught kindergarten for 99 years. Man, she talked about a heart of a teacher. But she says the YES stands for Yields Explosive Success.
Oh, my goodness. I'm stealing that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But been there for almost 3 years now. And, it's a great group of people, like-minded people that just want to be successful. It's one of those things that everybody says, hey, you just kind of extend your sales force.
Yes.
By the group. So, but man, I'd encourage anybody to look into getting into a BNI group for sure. It's a great thing.
No, I absolutely love it. I was invited. So my backstory is I was a sales manager before I became an agent. And when I would recruit and hire wonderful agents like you, I would always encourage guys to join the BNI chapter to build some referral business, but I'd never been a part of one myself. Fast forward, I'm probably 10 years into my career. I used a local printer to print up some flyers I was doing at the time. I wasn't the digital guy that I am today. And a few weeks later, he mails me an invitation to come to BNI. And I'm like, yes, this is my chance. I've talked about it. And then I don't know about you, Mike, but the chapter I joined, 7 o'clock every Tuesday morning for breakfast. How about you guys?
Man, we're at 11 o'clock on Wednesday or 11:30 on Wednesdays.
People are rushing to your chapter, man. People are going to rush to your chapter. That 7 o'clock is a hard sell. Yeah. 11:30, but you're with my chapter. We fluctuate between 20 and 25 people, one person per business, and givers gain, right? We all came with the idea, how can I get a referral from Mike? Mike, how can you get a referral for Kevin, the realtor, the banker, the lawyer? What kind of numbers do you guys run?
We had a chapter, we kind of did some pruning. There were some people that just were not engaged and, just whatever. So we kind of got rid of some people. We're up to about 10 or 12 now.
But a committed 12, 12, with the right 12. That's all that it takes.
And even though, it's a smaller group, I say a smaller group, that's not too bad. But, we're doing, $15,000 to $20,000 a month in thank you for closed business.
That's a beautiful number. And I understand you're the president of the chapter now.
I am.
That's a beautiful thing. What businesses are you looking for? Who else are you looking for? I came in as a novice. I became the president. And then there was always, very similar to Allstate, where we're always recruiting, hiring. There's always that look. Are you looking for your contractors? Are you looking for your realtors? What are we looking for?
We're looking for some HVACs folks. We are looking for a handyman and a painter, and a title company for sure.
I love it. I love it. So a nice plug for the Yes chapter of BNI in Baton Rouge, Indiana. If you're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, if you're one of these people with those skill sets, you got to get there. You got to get there because not only was it good for the referral business, I'll be honest with you, Mike, it taught me how to network. It literally taught me how to network and how to ask for business, be very specific and intentional about what I'm looking for. Those 30-second or 60-second commercials is going to make you a better agent than any other training I've ever had. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. And not only that, but it makes you, hone your presentation skills, really refine the things that, specifically what you're looking for, because it's always, hey, you do, like you said, you do your 30-second commercial, your weekly presentation. And it's like, hey, here's what I'm looking for now. This is the type of referral I'm looking for. I'm looking for a first-time home buyer that, that needs homeowners insurance and I can help them out or whatever that is. But it does help you become more confident and like I said, the presentation skills for sure.
No, I love it. I would throw public speaking in there as well. It's all just a part of it. One thing that I didn't know before I joined the BNI, I didn't realize that the lawyers, the bankers, the realtors were just like me. Every business owner needs one more lead today. It doesn't matter what they do. It's all the same.
Right. Absolutely. And and you always think, well, they're not going to be interested. They don't need this. They don't need that. But you know what? You never know until you ask. And when you ask, a lot of times they're like, oh, I didn't even know about that. So yeah, I would love to do that.
No, that's a beautiful thing. So Mike, we talked about some music. We talked about BNI. We talked about the agency a little bit. You probably don't have any time left, but do you have any time to be involved in the community at all in Baton Rouge?
I do. My wife is actually on staff at our church. So we're very involved in the church and the ministries of the church.
Excellent.
One of the things, this one kind of hurt us because this was the first year in 6 years we didn't get to do this. But one of the things that we're really involved in is Tim Tebow's Night to Shine, which is a prom for special needs people. Yes. And, that is just something. And I tell you how much it means to me and my family is our youngest daughter is in college. She's about an hour away. She still drove in and still volunteered, even though we weren't there. But that's something that we look forward to every year. Also, I mean, we do small groups. I minister to other men in the church, part of our men's ministry. I have a passion for that. As I think if we can fix the men of America, a lot of our problems will be better. So, people invested in me years ago, and I just want to invest back into the men of the church.
I love it. I love everything that you shared. I want to ask about the church and ministry and business before I come back to Tim Tebow. So talk about that. It's funny that we got here because when you talked about the moves that you make from different industries to moving away from one city to another and now running a business, how important is it for all business leaders to have a real strong faith basis to do what we do on a daily basis? Yeah,
I think if you don't have a faith in that, like you're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
It's you're doing this for a reason and a purpose, and God's got a reason and a purpose for it no matter what. And sometimes even with the lows, I tell guys all the time, like, man, it's not going your way right now. So he's trying to teach you something instead of asking why this is happening. It's like, hey, God, what are you trying to teach me? What do I need to learn during this process? And a lot of times, if you really just dig in and sit back and listen, like he's going to show you something. So
That's a powerful answer, because I was talking to my son about this morning. Sports teaches us how to lose with dignity. Win or lose,
Right.
we shake hands. Business, sometimes that's hard. Sometimes that one sale, you're a big client, you got a house, you got 4 cars, you got 4 ATVs in the yard, and I really want to take care of your business, but my rates change, you're walking away. And it's both upsetting and debilitating for some of our, favorite agents. When the men are coming to you and they're broken because of some of that, talk to me and share with the people one lesson that can help you navigate that sense of loss, that things just aren't going my way right now. I'm blaming everybody in the world. What are one of those things that can help you get you out of that blame mindset into the learning and the blessing mindset?
Yeah. It is just, I think the biggest thing is this, it's a short period of time.
Yes.
It's not going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
You go through and you read the Psalms, like, man, David had some laments, man. He was rough, and
Yes.
he yelled at God.
Yes.
But he was a man after God's own heart. So it's a short period of time, and just put your faith in him, and he's going to guide you through it. No. And it's tough sometimes, for sure. But also surround yourself with other guys that can help you, stay grounded and stay focused.
That's right back to as important it is that you started the call with your Allstate network. You reached out to people, you made friends. BNI is building a business network, and men's ministry is a way to build a faith-based network. If I'm down and out, I want to be around some faith-based people that can help me get through it spiritually. It's not always that I need a couple of dollars. I might need to fix my spiritual mindset in that moment to get to the next place.
Right.
At the highest level of sports and entertainment in this country, there are very few athletes that have demonstrated that, like Tim Tebow. Agree? Disagree?
100%. I mean, he lived out his faith. It wasn't just fluff. But man, he truly lived it out and continues to live it out. So
I think he's a walking example. When you look at what he achieved on the field in college, as the ultimate player that year. I think he was a Heisman Trophy winner, but I'm pretty confident that he was.
Yeah.
And then he had some highs and lows in football, never deviated from the faith as the number one guy, number one pick. He endured a lot of attacks, but kept the faith. And then he did the Michael Jordan, Deion Sanders pivot. He goes from football to baseball and still keeps the faith of hard work and not deviating. Have you had a chance to meet Tim Tebow personally?
No, I have not. A couple stories about Tim Tebow. So another group that I was playing in, we got invited to go play at a youth revival or youth camp. And then it was in the middle of COVID, so it got canceled, and Tim Tebow was the main speaker. Wow. So I was pumped about that to go see him. But so that got canceled. I guess rewind, when I was at the telecommunications company, we got some tickets to the SEC, to LSU Auburn, and the SEC network was coming in. So we got the VIP tickets. So we got to go back, on the set after. The only thing was Tim Tebow had to leave right after that. I don't remember what game he was going to, but he walks by, and one of the nicest guys. He talked to every single person, took pictures with these people. And my wife's going, he is a good looking man. Look at him. Look how blue his eyes are. And I'm like, sweetheart, he can hear you. He's standing right there. He's a good looking guy. And he's the same age as our son. So stop.
I love it.
Yeah.
But thank God you were comfortable. Thank God you were comfortable in your set and your skin, and you didn't fan out, and you didn't have any issue with that. I'll make you laugh. My wife and I were walking down the street in middle of Manhattan, and we see Rob Gronkowski. He's doing some announcing work for the TV station, and I'm waiting there. He has no time. He's getting ready to hustle someplace else. So I fanboyed out. I went up to her and said, Rob, my wife is your biggest fan. She wants me to take a picture with you. So I wasn't as cool as you in my moment of pressure in the face of stardom. So Mike, one of the things I like to ask everybody on this show, we're all business owners. A lot of the people that listen to it, they're fellow insurance agents, other business owners, or just everyday people. We all in these times are dealing with a fair amount of stress in whatever we do in life. One question I like to ask people, how do you wind down and decompress at the end of the day? So how do you wind down? How do you get away from the agency and just decompress at the end of the day?
I have a great support system. My wife is awesome. So just coming home, man, we are outside people. We like to be outside. We like to go for a walk, a bike ride, sit on the back porch, have a glass of wine or an old fashioned, grill out. We've got 4 kids, 2 of which live pretty close by with grandkids. So just hanging out with them. My wife and I love to go out to eat. So and always doing something. We're empty nesters now, and we never dated. We never dated without kids because she had 3 from her previous marriage. So now it's like, wow, this is fun. This weekend we're going to New Orleans to watch a show. My wife loves the theater, so we're going to go down there and watch a show and just unwind that way, hang out with friends.
I love it. What are you catching? Anything good?
So it's Mamma Mia, which that's one of my wife's favorite things, favorite movies, shows. So I know she's going to be real excited.
That's all you have to do. Long run on Broadway. Okay, yeah. We're approaching landing the plane. Before I ask you my closing question, is there anything you'd like to share with people that I didn't ask you about?
The only thing I can think of is just, you were talking about just hurricanes, local agent, all that stuff. One quick story right after. So I started in 2020 in October, and then in August of 2021, Ida hit.
Yes.
And it was, we typically don't get a ton of damage here in the Baton Rouge area. It's more of trees being down. It's not like roofs getting ripped off or anything. But I just remember an older gentleman coming in, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks after that and talking to him. And he's like, hey, I'm mad because you guys aren't paying my claim. I said, well, let me take a look. So just looking at that, what I found out was he had a 5% hurricane deductible, which, for us, we may know what that means, but other people, it's 5% of your dwelling coverage. So looking at it, he didn't meet his deductible. And I don't remember what the numbers were, but, hey, sir, your deductible's $20,000 and, it's only $18,000. So it's not that we didn't pay it. You just didn't meet the deductible. So at that time, I kind of just got the passion of like, man, if it happened to him, it happened to other guys too. So trying to do an insurance review with people, making sure, not just saying, hey, you got a 2% hurricane deductible or 5% or whatever. I tell all my LSPs, even when we quote it, like tell them specifically what it is.
Yes.
Don't just say it's 2%. Hey, it's 2%. It's, $4,236 or whatever.
Very specific.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's just, the value of a local agent. So.
I mean, I love it. And I think you hit a spot there. When we give that specific information, people can know, and then they can exercise some options. Geography wise, talk to me about where Baton Rouge is relative to the Gulf. Are you guys inland a little bit? You're middle of the state. You're sitting right on the Gulf.
No, we're still, southern Louisiana. We're probably 60 miles as the crow flies from the Gulf.
Okay.
So we're about an hour northwest of New Orleans.
Okay.
So, and then, we don't have a lot of like large bodies of water around us like New Orleans has Lake Pontchartrain and those things. So, but we're a little further away from the Gulf, but we're still southern Louisiana where it's about, 800 degrees on a summer day.
No, I understand. Hurricane Ida, I asked that question because where I am, Middle Village, Queens, we're away from the water. We're not sitting on a peninsula or an Atlantic, any body of water. But that Hurricane Ida devastated my community, and I was so blown away by some of the coverage conversations that inspired me to write my first book, The Property Insurance Bible, and encourage people to get better insurance before losing everything. I felt like we owed people so much education on this topic, and it was all because of what I hadn't done. That same way it moved you to have that conversation, it moved me the same way.
Yeah. And, you talking about your book, I buy that book for all new hires and read it. And like, hey, we're going to do a chapter a day and read it because it's valuable. And it's everything that you do. I would like to get copies and send it out to realtors and mortgage lenders as well. But you're right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Consider it done. I will send some to you. I'll send some to you. You're not going to buy it. I'll send some so you can give it out.
Thank you.
Last question. Businessman, man of faith, men's ministry. Can you help me out right now? Listen to this podcast. It's the Wine Down with Kev podcast, also referred to as the Dream Chaser podcast. I would love for you to leave us with some encouraging words for someone that maybe wants to get in business, maybe wants to take the next step. Maybe they just went through the layoff that you went through in the telecommunications industry. Maybe they're considering selling what they're doing right now. Can you give them some encouraging words that would help them out?
Man, I just say go for it. Don't ever have a regret. If that's something that's really a passion, go ahead and do it. Have a support system that backs you up because it's rough. There's days that you feel like you're by yourself, and there's days that you feel like you're going to fail. But you have a good support system, whether it's your spouse. Actually, it should be your spouse and a combination of some other people. But man, keep fighting. Things get hard. Typically, I was talking to another agent in Texas this morning. It's like that is really probably when you learn the most, or when times are lean and times are tough. So just go for it.
Man, I love it. Mike, you were a phenomenal guest. Going forward, love that energy, but I really like the idea of building the bridge and the support system before you need it. Surround yourself with those people that can help you navigate these tough waters, these hurricane seasons, because they come to everybody.
Right.
No one's exempt from it. So you want to build your bridge. You want to build your support system before you're in the middle of the ocean and you realize that you need a little help.
That's right. Yeah. It's not when it's not if it's going to rain, it's when it's going to rain.
Absolutely. Mike, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Stone.
Man, Kevin, thanks for having me. Thanks for everything you do for the agents. So, we appreciate you. So thanks for having me on.
No worries at all. And to everybody out there, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wine Down with Kev. If you like the content that we created here today, please click on the link below, like, subscribe. And once again, thank you to my sponsors, Carol Media and Canopy Connect. Reach out to them for all things digital. We'll see you in the next podcast.